Okay, but students, can you see? Okay, and straight the sun was flecked with birds. And straight the sun was flecked with birds. Heaven's mother sent us grace, as if through a dungeon grate he peered with broad and burning face. Okay, here and immediately in these lines we can see that is that, and immediately the sun appeared to be marked with birds. Okay, and here heaven's mother means the Virgin Mary. Okay, and the ancient men was praying that Virgin Mary might send them grace. And here again we see the use of simile, that is as if through a dungeon grate appeared with broad and burning face, that is the skeleton of a sheep. Okay, here we see that the here simile contributes the imagery showing how one can see the sun through the holes in the mysterious sheep. Okay, then go to next stanza please. Okay, can you see? Alas, thought I, and my heart beat loud, how fast she nears and nears. Are those her sails that glance in the sun like lustreless gossameres? Okay, my dear students, in this line again we see the personification of here, that is the sheep. Here she, okay, she means here the sheep, and here personification adding to imagery of what sheep looks like. Okay, what sheep looks like. The skeleton sheep sailed fast, very fast. Okay, alas, that means thought I, and my heart beat loud. That is the heart of the ancient mariner beat very fast as he became very afraid. Okay, the skeleton ship sailed fast and came closer and closer, and every moment. Its parts looked like silky spider webs, okay, floating in the calm air and shining in the sun. Okay, and in amazement the mariner asked himself whether they were its cells that shone in the sun like floating silky spider webs. Yes, then go to next stanza please. Are those her ribs through which the sun did peer as through a grate? And is that women all her crew? Is that a death? And are there two? Is death that women's mate? Here you see that the ancient mariner is asking himself, okay, some questions, and through these questions we get a clear picture of the passengers of the ship. Okay, he's asking himself, are those her ribs through which the sun did peer as through a grate? Okay, that is in this line here is see that the ancient mariner noticed the figure of a woman in it, and is that women all her crew? Is that a death? And are there two? That is, there were two passengers in the ship, and who are they? He noticed a woman, a figure of a woman in it. Okay, and is that a death? That is the mate of that woman was Death himself. Okay, and women and death. Okay, and here repetition of question marks, you can see the repetition of question marks serves to emphasize tone. Okay, then from this stanza we get an idea about the passengers of the ship. That is, there were two passengers in the ship. One is a woman and another is Death himself. Okay, then go to next stanza please. Her lips are red, her looks are free, her locks are yellow as gold, her skin was as white as leprosy, the nightmare life in death was she, who thicks man's blood with cold. Okay, here the ancient mariner was describing the physical feature of the women in the ship. Okay, the horrifying woman was life in death. Okay, and she was so horrible that her sight could freeze a man's blood with cold fear. And this stanza is very, very important for explanation, okay? And this stanza will also be needed to answer the question that is describe life in death, okay? Describe the physical feature of life in death. So you have to learn by heart this stanza, okay? And here you can also see the use of anaphora, that is hard, okay? The first 3 lines of the stanza start with hard, okay? So it's an use of anaphora, it's an example of anaphora. And how did life in death look? Yes, her lips are red and her looks are free, and her locks were yellow as gold, okay? Here her hair was compared with the color of gold, okay? So here you can see the use of simile, okay? And here simile serves to create image of the color of the woman's skin too, that is her skin was as white as leprosy. So here you can see the use of simile, okay? My dear students, next, go to next stanza please. The naked Hulk alongside came, and the twain were casting dice. The game is done. I have won, quoth she, and whistles thrice. Okay, my dear students, here naked Hulk means the skeleton ship. Okay, and the skeleton ship arrived by the side of their ship. The naked Hulk alongside came, that is the skeleton ship arrived by the side of the ship of the mariner, and the 2 ghostly figures, that is death and life in death, okay? The 2 ghostly figures were seen playing dice, okay? They were playing, what are they doing? They were playing dice. Why? To win the crew of the ship and the other, okay? That is the ancient mariner. One was playing dice to win the crew of the ship and the other to win the mariner. And in this game we see that the women, that is life in death, own the soul of the mariner, okay? And the game is done. I have won, okay? Okay, the life in death, that is the women, was declaring that she had won. And quoth she, that is, quoth means, you know, it's an archaic word. Quoth means said, okay? Said she, and whistles thrice, okay? And merrily the women, that is life in death, whistled 3 times, okay? And here we see that the life in death exclaimed with joy that the game was over and that she had won the ancient mariner as her stake, okay? And death won the soul of the others crew of the ship, okay? Then go to next para please. Okay, my dear students, the sun's rim deeps, the stars rush out, and one side come the dark with far-heard whisper over the sea. Offshore the spectre bark. Okay, here we see that just then the sun sank in the western part of the sea. Okay, and abruptly the stars began to twinkle in the sky. And soon it was dark all around. Then with a loud whispering sound, what happened? Which could be heard from far over the sea. The ghostly ship disappeared in the dark. Okay. So in this stanza, we find the description of the ship, that is the ghostly ship. How did the ghostly ship disappear in the dark? Okay. Then go to next stanza please. We listened and looked sideways up. Okay, fear at my heart as at a cup, my life blood seemed to seep. The stars were dim and thick the night, the steersman's face by his lamp gleamed white. From the sails the dew did drip, till clomb above the starboard the horned moon with one bright star within the nether deep. Okay, then in this long stanza, what did you see? That is, here we see that The ancient mariner was comparing his heart to an empty cup. Okay, for fear his heart stopped beating. Okay, and here we find the simile here. Okay, and mark the first three lines of the stanza, please. That is, fear at my heart as at a cup, my life blood seemed to seep. These two lines is very, very important for explanation too. And here we see the mental condition of the mariner. Okay, and again we the stars were dim and thick the night. Here we see that the stars shone dimly. Okay, and the night was thick with the dark. Okay, and at that moment the mariner noticed that in the lamp slides the steersman's face was white with great fear. Okay, and he also noticed that dewdrops dipped from his sails. Okay, and trembling with fear he peered into the dark till the crescent moon. Here hard moon means crescent moon. Okay, the crescent moon with one bright star within its lower thin curve rose above the eastern horizon. Okay, and here the horn moon refers to crescent moon whose two upper ends look like its horns. And here we find that the horn moon, okay, mark this very word, and with one bright star. Okay, it's also notice that it's a sign of something that is something bad is going to be happened. Okay, here crescent moon refers to crescent moon where two upper ends look like its horns, and it's an image of that there's something bad is going to be happened. Okay, then go to the next stanza, please. Yes, one after one by the star-dogged moon, too quick for groan or sigh, each turned his face with a ghastly pang and cursed me with his eye. Okay, here in this stanza the ancient mariner is describing that as if struck by the star-dogged moon, each of his fellow mariners or sailors twisted his face with a death-like pain. Okay, and looked at him with curging eyes, and quickly fell down dead without a groan or sigh. Okay, after one after another they died, and they were dying so quickly that too quickly that the ancient mariner couldn't hear any groan or sigh from them. Okay, and here star-dogged moon is a symbol for something cursed. Okay, mark this word, star-dogged moon, that is, it's a symbol for something cursed. Then my dear students, go to next stanza, please. Four times 50 living men, and a heart nor sigh nor groan, with heavy thumb, a lifeless lump, they dropped down one by one. Okay, in this stanza, the ancient mariner was describing that is the how his shipmates were dying. Okay, one after another. Okay, that is 4 times 50 living men. Then how many shipmates are there? Okay, 4 times 50, that means 50 into 4 equal to 200. Okay, so 200 living men dropped down dead one by one, each with a heavy third. Okay, and then the last 2 lines of this stanza, with heavy thumb, a lifeless lump, they dropped down one by one. That's it's an example of onomatopoeia. Okay, and in my previous classes I told you about onomatopoeia. Okay, that is onomatopoeia reflect here onomatopoeia, that is those words, that is thump, with heavy thump, a lifeless lump, they drop down one by one, that is they reflect the falling of a heavy thing. Okay, So these two lines are two lines. Here we find the use of onomatopoeia. Okay, and these 4 lines are very important for explanation too. Mark those lines, please. And here we see internal rhyme also. With heavy lump, a life. With heavy thump, a lifeless lump. Okay, thump rhymes with lump. Okay, here we find the use of internal rhyme. Okay, then onomatopoeia and internal rhyme. And internal rhyme here serving the purpose to emphasize imagery. Okay, then go to next para, please. Okay, and these 4 lines, that is it's the last stanza of part 3. The souls did from their bodies fly, they fled to bliss or woe, and every soul it passed me by like the whiz of my crossbow. Okay, here we see in this last stanza of part 3, how did you see? That is the souls of the shipmates. Okay, the shipmates of the mariner fled their bodies to enter heaven or hell. Okay, bliss or woe means heaven or hell. His soul and his soul passed by him making a sound, that is with a whizzing sound like that of his arrow. Okay, like that of his arrow when he shot the albatross. Okay, so here we find at first the use of simile, that is here we find the comparison of the passing of a soul to the sound of a shot arrow. Okay, so here we find the use of simile. And my dear students, here we also find an example of onomatopoeia, the use of onomatopoeia. What is it? Can you guess? Yes, like the whiz. It's an use of onomatopoeia, that is whiz means the hissing sound made by the mariner's arrow. Okay, here we whiz reflects the sound of okay, that is made by the mariner's arrow. And here we also find ambiguity, that is they fled to bliss or arrow, that is the souls of the shipmates of the mariner could have gone to heaven or hell. So it's an use of ambiguity. So in this last stanza, okay, my dear students, we see the use of onomatopoeia, we find the use of simile. And my dear students, and that's the end of part 3. And now I will give you an idea about a topic named willing suspension of disbelief. Okay, my dear students, let's go to our whiteboard and we will see what is about the topic, that is willing suspension of disbelief. Okay, now go to our whiteboard.